want to go through briefly kind of why we're doing this process, and maybe answer if anybody has any questions about what is a comprehensive plan and why do we bother doing this, why do we bother with this process. It's important to know that the comprehensive plan is the primary policy document that the city uses to guide all of its regulatory work, all of its investments, public investments that it makes, the practices it does, the kind of day-to-day decision-making, all are ultimately rooted in the comprehensive plan. It's a very critical document. It's something that the city is not required to do, but there are very important reasons to do it. And the two primary ones I want to talk about is the plan is, of course, a document. It is an official statutory document recognized under state law that affects and guides transportation decisions, environmental review decisions, various forms of state assistance, and other kinds of practices that occur both in the city, at the county level, at the regional level, and at the state level. So it's officially recognized in state statute, and it has a standing in that regard, even when other agencies are involved doing things in Grand Rapids area. But the second thing is that we need to emphasize is that the plan is a process. And the plan itself is a process that helps citizens, residents, visitors, businesses, help define and come to some agreement about what the long-term vision of the city is. So we have both a document that we refer to as a comprehensive plan, but we also have this process that is involving people, and it's a living document, hopefully, that continues to be used over the next 10 years as the city moves forward and making investments, making regulatory decisions, and also that citizens continue to use it and refer to it, and to make sure that their elected officials and appointed officials are actually implementing the comprehensive plan themselves. So it's important that citizens have an ownership stake in the plan, because it is the document that is supposed to be the foundation for other things that go on in Grand Rapids. The reason that we're modifying the comprehensive plan now, there was a long lapse in comprehensive plan in Grand Rapids from something like 1984 until 2003. There was never an update of the comprehensive plan. But in 2003, there was a major update. Some of you may have been involved in that process. That plan was very valuable, and it has been very useful over the last 7 years in guiding city decisions. However, at this point in time, it's a 20-year plan, and we're 7 or 8 years into it. Many of the recommendations that were in that plan have already been implemented. So essentially, they've been completed or already set in motion. There's other things that were identified in that 2003 plan that were very important issues and priorities back in 2001 and 2002, but maybe aren't as high a priority now. And there are things that have come up since that time that are rising in importance and rising as a priority in 2010 and 2011. And so what the City Council decided ultimately to ensure that the plan reflects the community's priorities, a plan update was going to be needed to make, just to kind of go back and double check with the general public, to bring new issues up into the plan and to identify new recommendations that maybe the city can move forward over the next 10 years or 15 years. So, any questions about what a comprehensive plan is?
Brian, 2 questions. I understand there's also a water use plan, and could you comment on the relationship between that plan and this plan, number 1? And number 2, does this incorporate technology, use of telecommunications technology? Could that be an element, or is there a separate planning process piece that addresses those issues?
Okay, good question. I'll answer the second one because it's the easiest. Yes. The technology piece can be addressed, and in fact, that's one of the things that the steering committee has already decided was not really covered very well under the 2003 plan that does need to be covered under this plan. So the whole issue of technology, about infrastructure, about the effect that has on economic development, the effect that has on quality of life, all those kinds of things are important things to bring into the comprehensive planning process. The water, we said now, the water use plan, and if you're talking about, there's a variety of different plans. The city has capital improvement plans and things like that that relate to the water supply and water usage. There are also surface water plans that have been put together by Itasca County, for instance, because that they're required to under law. The Headwaters watershed area has a planning process, and as do all watershed districts that are in watersheds that affect Grand Rapids. They all have their own planning process, and those plans need to be incorporated in some way into the comprehensive plan. It is a state law that those entities that have that kind of planning authority get to set the kind of the narrow agenda on water under their jurisdiction, and that the city has to incorporate that and recognize that in its comprehensive plan. Any other questions about the comprehensive plan? What it is, why we're doing this, what it does and doesn't serve? Okay.